Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our English Learning Podcast. I am Emma.
And I am David. We are so happy you are joining us today. Welcome.
How are you doing today, David? Are you doing anything special this week?
Oh, I am doing great. I am actually very excited because I am watching a lot of football matches lately. The whole world is talking about the big tournament.
The World Cup. Yes, everywhere I go, people are talking about games, goals, and their favorite players. It is like a big global party.
Exactly. But you know, Emma, when I first started learning English, watching football was a little difficult for me. The commentators on TV spoke very fast.
I can understand that. Sports on TV can be very loud and fast.
Yes, and they used special words that I did not learn in my English books. Words like pitch or foul or draw. I was looking at the dictionary while watching the game.
Well, you are not alone, David. Many English learners feel the same way. But that is exactly why we are here today. In this episode, we are going to learn essential World Cup words.
This is perfect. We will make it very easy for our listeners to watch the games in English and talk about their favorite teams.
Oh, and David, before we start, I remembered a very simple secret about English sports vocabulary today.
Really? A secret?
Yes, it is a tiny trick that helps you sound exactly like a native speaker when you talk about the final score of a game. It is a very small word, but many learners forget to use it.
Wow, a secret trick for reading the scores?
Yes, I will share it a little bit later in the podcast. It is so easy, and it will make your English sound very natural.
I cannot wait to learn it. I am sure our listeners want to know it too. So, Emma, let's start with the most basic word, the place where they play the game.
Okay, let's talk about where the magic happens. In English, the place where we play football has a special name.
Yes, this was my first big mistake. When I was learning English, I thought they played football on a court because we play tennis and basketball on a court, right?
That is a very common mistake. We say a tennis court or a basketball court, but we never say a football court.
Exactly. And then I heard the word pitch. I was so confused. I thought a pitch was when someone throws a baseball.
That is true in American sports, but in British English and for the World Cup, we call the large green grass area the football pitch. In American English, they usually say soccer field. Both are absolutely correct.
Football pitch or soccer field? That is great. Let's practice this important word so our listeners can feel confident. Listeners, can you say football pitch with us? Football pitch.
Great job. Now, when the players are on the pitch, there is one very important person walking in the middle with them. He's usually wearing black or a very bright color.
Ah, the person who holds the yellow and red cards. When I started watching football in English, I called him the judge because he makes all the rules and decisions, like in a courtroom.
That makes perfect sense, David. He does make the final decisions. But in football, we do not call him a judge. We call him the referee.
Referee. Sometimes people just say ref for short, right? Like, the ref made a bad choice.
Yes, ref is very common in everyday conversation. The referee controls the game. And what does the referee use to stop the game or get everyone's attention, David?
He blows his whistle, a small metal or plastic object that makes a loud, sharp sound.
Exactly. So we have the pitch, the referee, and the whistle. These are the basic words for every match.
But, Emma, what happens when the match starts? How do we talk about the very beginning of the game? We don't just say start, do we?
Good question. You can say start, but native speakers use a special phrase, kickoff.
Ah, kickoff, because they literally kick the ball to start the game. It is so logical.
Yes, it is. You can use it as a noun. For example, you can ask your friends, "What time is the kickoff today?" to ask when the game begins.
So if my friend invites me to watch the World Cup, I can ask, what time is the kickoff? That sounds very professional.
Perfect. And after 45 minutes of playing, the players get very tired. What happens then, David?
They take a break. We call this halftime.
Yes, halftime. It is a 15-minute rest. The players go to the dressing room, drink water, and listen to their manager.
I love halftime. It gives me time to get some snacks, drink my tea, and talk with my friends about the first half of the match.
Halftime is definitely important. But let's go back to the action on the pitch. Sometimes the players play a little too hard to win the ball, right?
Oh, yes. Sometimes they push each other or kick another player's leg by accident. When I first started watching English matches, I used to say, "Oh no, he did a bad mistake."
Did a bad mistake is a good try, David, and people will definitely understand you. But in football, when a player breaks a rule, we use a special word. We say they commit a foul, or simply, we just call it a foul.
A foul. I remember being confused because fowl sounds exactly like the bird, a chicken, but it is spelled differently, right? Foul.
Yes, English spelling can be very tricky. So if a player commits a foul, the referee will blow the whistle. And what does the referee show to the player, David?
He shows them a card. A yellow card is a strong warning, but if the foul is very bad or dangerous, the player gets a red card.
Exactly. And if you get a red card, you must leave the pitch immediately. Your team has to play with one less player. It is a disaster for the team. Let's help our listeners practice this important vocabulary. Listeners, can you say yellow card with us?
Yellow card.
Excellent. Now, when a foul happens, the game stops. To start again, the other team gets a chance to kick the ball without anyone stopping them. What is that called?
That is a free kick. I love free kicks. The players from the other team stand in a line to block the ball. We call that line a wall.
Yes, a wall of players. They jump to stop the ball from going into the net. But wait, David, what if the foul happens very close to the goal, inside the big box?
Oh, that is the most exciting part of the game. If a foul happens in the box, it is a penalty. Sometimes people call it a penalty kick.
That's right. The ball is placed on a small white dot. It is just one player kicking the ball against the goalkeeper. The pressure is huge.
I always feel a little bad for the goalkeeper during a penalty. It is so difficult to stop the ball. They have to guess which way the player will kick.
It is definitely a nervous moment for everyone watching.
You know, Emma, talking about goals makes me think about the end of the game. Are you going to tell us that secret trick about reading the final score soon?
Soon, David, soon. I promise we will get there. But first, we need to talk about how players actually move the ball and score those beautiful goals in our next part. Welcome back to the action. We talked about fouls and free kicks, but let's talk about the most beautiful part of the game, moving the ball and scoring.
Yes, one player cannot win the game alone. They must share the ball with their teammates. In English, we call this a pass.
Correct. A good team makes very fast and smart passes, and sometimes the ball goes high in the air. How do players hit the ball when it is in the air, David?
They use their heads. This is called a header. When I was a beginner, I used to just say, he hit the ball with his head, which is true, but header is the perfect word to sound natural.
Header is a great word. Now, let's imagine the team passes the ball beautifully, and a player is standing right in front of the goalkeeper. What do they do next?
They try to put the ball in the net. We use the word shoot for this. I remember being very shocked by this word at first.
Really? Why were you shocked?
Because in the movies, people shoot guns. So when the TV commentator yelled, "He is going to shoot," I was very confused.
That is a brilliant point, David. It sounds dangerous if you do not know the context. But in sports like football or basketball, to shoot simply means to kick or throw the ball towards the net to get points.
It is a very important action word. Let's practice it together. Listeners, can you say shoot the ball with us?
Shoot the ball. Great work. And if the player shoots the ball and it goes past the goalkeeper and into the net, what happens then?
The best part, they get a point. But here is a big mistake I always made, Emma. In my native language, we say make a goal. So I used to tell my friends, my favorite player made 2 goals today.
I hear make a goal from so many learners. People will understand you, but native speakers use a different verb. We say score a goal.
Score a goal. Yes, score is the magic word here.
Correct. Score can be a verb. So you can say, he scored a beautiful goal.
And when a player scores a goal, the whole stadium goes crazy. The people watching stand up, they sing, and they shout.
The atmosphere in a World Cup stadium is truly magical. The people watching the game are so passionate.
You know, Emma, the people watching have a special name too, and there are some interesting words to describe how they support their team. I think we should talk about the fans next.
You are absolutely right, David. The game would be nothing without the people watching in the stadium. We call them the fans or the supporters.
Supporters, because they support their team. They want their team to win, so they wear the team's colors, wave flags, and travel to different countries just to watch them play.
That's right. And speaking of wearing team colors, in football, we usually do not call the player's shirt a regular shirt. We call the official team clothing a jersey or a kit.
Oh, I love buying national team jerseys. They are so colorful. I have a whole collection at home. I wear my favorite jersey every time there is a big match.
That makes me wonder about our listeners today. Hey everyone, we have a quick question for you. Which country's team are you supporting in the World Cup?
Yes, we would love to know. Please pause the podcast for a second, scroll down, and write the name of your favorite team in the comments right now. Who do you want to win the World Cup?
I will definitely be reading all your comments later. I love seeing where our learners are from and who they support.
Me too. Okay, let's go back to the stadium, Emma. When the fans are wearing their jerseys in the stadium, they make a lot of noise. They sing very loudly.
They do. But in English, when a big crowd of people sing a short, repeated song together at a sports game, we use a special word. We call them chants. Fans love to chant.
Chant. That is a great word. It is different from singing a normal pop song on the radio. It is powerful and loud. Let's practice this vocabulary with our listeners so they can use it too.
Great idea, David. Listeners, can you say football chants with us?
Football chants.
Fantastic job! Chanting really makes the stadium feel alive and full of energy.
It really does. So the fans are chanting, the players are passing and shooting, and the referee is blowing the whistle. But Emma, what happens if the 90 minutes are over and both teams have the exact same number of goals? Like 1-1 or 2-2?
Ah, that is a very tense situation. The game does not always end there. We have a special word for that situation, and it actually brings us much closer to that secret reading trick I promised to share with you earlier.
Oh, the secret trick for reading the scores. I have been waiting for this.
We are almost there. Let's talk about the end of the game and how to read the final score like a true native speaker in our next part. Okay, David, the moment you have been waiting for is here. We are talking about the final score of a match. Do you remember what I promised?
Yes, you said there is a secret trick to sounding like a native speaker when reading the scores. I am ready.
It is all about how we say the numbers. Many learners see 2-1 and say, the score is 2 minus 1. But we never use the word minus in sports.
Really? 2 minus 1 sounds like a math class.
That's right. We don't want math, we want football. When you see the score, you just say the numbers. For 2-1, you say 2-1.
2-1. That is very simple. But what if the score is 1-1? I remember hearing people say 1-1 or draw.
That is a great observation. If both numbers are the same, we call it a draw. But if you want to say the score, you can say 1-1. Or even better, native speakers often say 1-all.
1-all. I like that. It sounds much more professional.
Yes, it is the same for any draw. If the score is 2-2, you say 2-all. If it is 3-3, you say 3-all.
That is the secret. It is so easy, but I never knew it. Let's make sure our listeners have it. Listeners, if the score is 0-0, how do you say it? You can say 0-0 or 0-0, but for a draw, you say 0-all.
Perfect, David. Nil is a very British way to say zero in football.
Let's practice this trick. Listeners, say 2-1 with us. 2-1.
Amazing. And now say 2-all with us.
2-all.
You are both doing great. Now you can talk about the results of the World Cup matches with your friends just like a native speaker.
I feel so much more confident now. What is next on our journey through the World Cup vocabulary?
We have covered the game, the fouls, the goals, and the scores. Now we should talk about what happens at the end of the tournament. How does a team become the champion? That brings us to the most thrilling part of the tournament. When the groups are finished, we enter the knockout stages.
Oh, I remember this word well. Knockout? When I first heard it, I thought it meant someone got hit in the face, like in a boxing match.
That is a great guess. It is used in boxing too. But in football, knockout means that if you lose the game, you are knocked out of the tournament. You have to go home.
Exactly. There are no second chances. It is win or go home. It is very intense.
Yes. And if the score is still a draw after 90 minutes in a knockout game, we can't just have a draw. We need to find a winner. What happens then, David?
First, they play extra time. It is 30 more minutes of play, 15 minutes in the first half and 15 in the second.
Correct. But if it is still a draw after extra time, we go to the most nervous moment in football, the penalty shootout.
Oh, the penalty shootout. It is 5 players from each team taking turns to kick a penalty. If it is still even after that, it goes to sudden death.
Yes, sudden death. That is a very dramatic term. It means the next team that misses or the next team that scores wins the game immediately.
Penalty shootout and sudden death. Those are very important words for the final stages. Let's practice them. Listeners, can you say penalty shootout with us? Penalty shootout.
Great. And one more for the brave players. Sudden death.
Sudden death.
Perfect. You know, David, watching a team win the trophy at the very end, after all those penalty shootouts, it is the most amazing feeling.
It really is. The players lift the trophy, the fans cheer, and it feels like the whole world is celebrating together.
You know, David, we have talked about so much today. Before we wrap everything up, I want to see if our listeners were paying attention to the difference between a foul and a penalty. Are you ready for a quick challenge?
I love challenges. Let's do it.
All right, David. Are you ready for our mini quiz to see if our listeners were paying close attention?
I am ready. This is my favorite part because it really helps lock in the new words.
Okay, listeners, here is your challenge. If a player breaks a rule on the pitch and the referee stops the game, what is that called? Is it a pass, a foul, or a header?
Take a second to think about it.
Did you get it? The correct answer is a foul.
Fantastic! If you got it right, well done. And if you didn't, don't worry. That is how we learn. Just go back and listen to that part again.
Now, David, do you remember that secret trick I mentioned at the very beginning of our episode? The one about reading the scores?
I do. We talked about using all for a draw, like 2-all for 2-2.
Absolutely. And that applies to every single game you watch. It is such a small change, but it makes you sound so much more like a natural English speaker. I hope our listeners use it during the next match they watch.
That was such a helpful tip, Emma. Thank you.
You are very welcome. We have had so much fun today talking about football and the World Cup.
We really hope this episode helps you feel more confident when you watch the games or talk about sports with your friends.
Before we go, we have one final question for you. If you were a professional football player, what would be your goal celebration? Would you dance, run to the fans, or do something else?
Oh, that is a fun one. Tell us your creative celebration in the comments below. We love reading your answers.
Thank you all for listening. Keep practicing, keep watching, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone. Enjoy the tournament.